The movie Downsizing is going to be explained. It is told at the start of the movie that scientists have invented a process through which a man can be shrunk in his size. The name of this process is downsizing. Any human being can be reduced to 5 inches through this process. The purpose behind the downsizing was that resources were lacking due to the overpopulation. It is obvious that it is menacing. So scientists invented this process. Consequently, man will be shrunk into small size and the resources will also be maintained. Now a small-sized man cannot utilize the resources as much as large-sized man use. But the utilizers of downsizing process have to care some of the rules. If downsizing process is applied on a human being at once, his size cannot be reversed into normal. It means that man will be left small-sized forever. And the coming generation will also be small-sized. Now this invention is gone viral throughout the world. Some people were favoring it while others were disfavoring. The people also apply this process on them who favor it. Shrinking into small size, those humans are satisfied in their lives. Then a couple comes on the scene. The husband's name is Paul between them. Their financial condition was worse. They both favor this process when they hear about it. Their issues continue to increase with the passage of time. Paul thinks for many times that he will undergo downsizing process. But he had no courage to do as such. One day, Paul goes to a party where he encounters one of his friends and his wife, who were rejoicing from their life after being shrunk into small size and using this process. And they reach this party into a small glass box. Paul converses with his friend too much. His friend tells all that, "I am very satisfied with my life after applying the downsizing process. There were many troubles in my life when I was larger sized. Now I am very contented with my life. We had small property before which has extended now. Now I have grown rich person." Knowing it, Paul and his wife are very inspired. They feel satisfactory. And they both also decide that they will surely undergo this process. Then Paul and his wife visit to the downsizing meeting. So they may get more knowledge about it. They are told that their property will be extended as being small-sized. For instance, as being larger-sized, a biscuit cannot quench their appetite. But one biscuit will be enough to fulfill their appetite as being small-sized. So they may spend many days with one pack of biscuit. Now their basic needs of appetite fulfilled. Now a lady informs Paul, seeing his property, "Your property's cost will lead to 200 million when you will be shrunk." Hearing it, Paul is pleased. But the issue was this: they cannot reverse to their big size after shrinking. Their relatives will remain big-sized, so their relation with their relatives will be ended forever. And any fixed unnatural thing with their body will be taken out. As artificial teeth will also be taken out. Because only human body will be shrunk, not the fixed unnatural thing with the body. They may be died of not doing so. There is a fixed metal with Paul's tooth, so he makes it segregated. And scientists also remove all hair of his body. Being ready, both husband and wife say bye to each other. They say that we will meet with each other in small size now. Paul first undergoes the downsizing. It is not still applied on his wife. Paul is sent to a chamber where a doctor presses a button. Then the procedure of downsizing is started. There were also other people along with Paul who were all shrunk into the small size. After being shrunk into small size, Paul is lying on a bed, where his caretaker brings a biscuit for him. But Paul does not take biscuit and calls his wife. Paul's wife tells that I have cancelled this plan. It means that I am not undergoing the downsizing process. Actually, when Paul's wife's hair were being removed, then she felt what she is going to do with her. Am I choosing a right track? Was it only the purpose of my life? She also feels that she will never be able to meet with her relatives. So she puts aside this plan. Hearing her, Paul becomes aggressive. Because he had reduced to a small size and his size could not be reversed again. So they are divorced. Because they cannot live together now. Afterwards, Paul moves to another place to lead his life. And this place was particularly for the downsizing people. Paul used to live alone at a house there. He had no friends with him. A great time had passed, and Paul had divorced his wife. So she may begin her life in a new way. Next day, he watches the news in which he hears that a box was sent from America, where almost 15 people were coming here after undergoing the process of downsizing. All were dead among them except a girl. Then Paul falls asleep at his house returning from a party. In the following day, he witnesses the same girl whom he had watched on TV news. That girl sweeps that house and cooks food for Paul. In fact, that girl is homeless and Paul was also living alone. So she was sent here. Then they both are intimated with each other. And they start liking each other. Then a damaged area is also shown there. And it was also the area of the small-sized people. They were those people who underwent the process of downsizing but in a wrong way. So they are residing here. It means they got no benefit from the downsizing process. Their lives' condition was the same as it was at that time when they were in big size. They did not get a strong effect. Then Paul decides to go to that place where this process had initiated. And that scientist who had applied it on himself used to live at that place. Because Paul wanted to know either he may be grown into big size in some way. Scientist tells that I had invented this process after a great struggle to protect the world, but the reality is this now that you cannot be grown into big size. You will always remain small-sized like this. Now Paul also gets to know that he cannot be a big-sized man now. But he was contented, finding a good companion in the form of that girl. And he may lead his life happily along with her. That scientist tells that I have mapped this place in such a way, no threat may be expected here. And it will never end. You can reside with us if you want. But Paul says, no. I want to be ended with the ending of the earth. And I want to survive blissfully in my remaining life. So he comes back to his place, and he starts leading a happy life with that girl, with the new beginning. And the movie also completes on this scene.